record first.
I don't know that some company they allow the that's why you have to change.
What I will do is that I can actually share screen. Share screen. I scan this one. The screen. Yeah.
Only that you don't feel connected, you don't feel that body. So okay lah, I do know. But it's different if the guy does not say I want to do. There's a way to do it. In the end, the result is still the same. But there are people who own their little small. Together, it's still much better.
Okay. Okay.
I sent out already.
Then we wait lah.
Tell me when you're ready. Sure.
When people are coming. People are coming.
Just a second, small.
Mr.
Projector is on already.
It's on already.
It's on. I don't see any.
Oh yeah. Now it's on.
Just now was at the sleep mode.
Okay. There is here.
So,
hello.
start.
Can you hear us?
Sherry, are you online?
Yeah, I'm online. Can see on the right bottom side is a very small screen.
Yep.
Then the big screen is white color. I can see your mouse moving. Yeah.
Okay, you see my mouse moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your mouth or your mouse?
Mouse, not mouth. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
All right. So if you can see the screen, that's good. So I can start.
Okay. Thank you for waiting.
You're welcome. Interestingly, because the screen I do a double shot, so I don't know. I need to I need to escape from my PowerPoint one more time.
Okay.
It's a bit slow here. I don't know, maybe a lot of things happening. Okay, so let me just do a share.
Okay, I can see already.
You can see, okay, so basically, let me just do a... The funny thing is that when I do Zoom PowerPoint screen sharing, it is because the button is the other way. Is that true? Yes, correct. Okay, that's good. All right. Okay, so okay, louder, right? Louder. All right. So I have a question for all of you. Anyone here in the room? Do you experience something that is very interesting every single day? That is this four-letter word called sell. S-E-L-L. So my standard question is, using what we learned from our teacher, how many of you are actually in sales right now? Good. Some hands are raised. Matter. So how many of you don't consider that you are in sales right now? So yeah, that is a very standard rule. Simply because I would ask the next question. So Matter, why aren't you in sales right now? So then you will know that a lot of times, because we are so caught up with the word sell as selling products, selling services, and hence this concept of as I have no product, no service, then what am I selling? Is it true? So the question that I have for you is that, hey, aren't you selling yourself every single day? In other words, when you walk on the street, when you ask the uncle, auntie, hey, can I have this, can I have that, I want my breakfast, it is actually a sell. So if you accept that it's a form of sell, then my solution to you is that every single day we are actually in sales. Isn't it true?
Yes.
Good, thank you. So now here's my question. I have worked with so many trainers, coaches, consultants, and this is a very common question that I have. How's your sales right now? The majority of people say, I'm doing well. Okay, so how much have you earned every month? And typically you'll hear a pause of silence because nobody wants to talk about the financials. Okay, so that is common. So I asked one more question. How many clients have you got this month? How many new clients have you got this month? Okay, I got this. I don't need to know anything further because there's a saying in NLP, your body will always speak the truth, right? So the question is that why aren't you doing sales? In your coaching or training business, if you say that you need to make money to foot your bill, and yet you cannot have any clients coming in to be trained or to be coached, what is the problem? So many times I noticed that a lot of our very kind-hearted coaches and consultants, trainers, they focus a lot on the business structure to help the clients, to help them to move the point to the place that they want to be. But before this can be done, the first thing that we must got is the client. And a lot of times when I work with these people, they feedback to me and say, hey, you know what? I'm very good in coaching clients. I'm very good in helping clients to transform, but you know what? When it comes to sell, the reaction is like a lot of emotional struggle or a lot of doubt, a lot of self-worthiness issue, etc., etc. So I noticed one common thing that is a lot of people actually don't really like to sell. Yes. So I said, okay, I'll ask the next question. If you don't like to sell, my teacher, Blessinger, who is a rich dad advisor for Robert Kiyosaki in sales team development, he says, if you do not sell, you have no income because sales equals income. So the question is that, what are you doing every day then if you do not sell? You don't have no income coming in. So my idea is that since I'm now a CGF, is it possible to put in or to integrate something called sales into Tetra elements of nature? Is it possible to even bring this to the next level? Meaning that, is it possible to help whoever is wanting to learn the program to actually close sales? Because the word is not about sell. The word is about close. Because you can sell an idea, but if you cannot close, there's no money in your pocket. So a few months ago, I was thinking very hard. Is it possible to come up with something that is to leverage my closing skill, as well as the Tetra map, to help me come up with this program called Tetra Closing, which is what I have been talking about on my Facebook for approximately 2 months. I'm getting sick of it because my Facebook every day at 8 o'clock we have something coming up and talk about Tetra something. Okay? So let me just talk about this. Like, why would people hate sales? What is the common thing that you notice? Like, why would you hate sales? If somebody tells you that they don't like sales, what is the market feedback actually? Why do they not like this word sale? What's happening?
You mean the person sale?
Yeah, what are you hear in the market about people not interested or not enjoying the sales process? Rejection, which is very common. Fear of rejection. That's good. What else? Forceful. How many of you don't like the salesman to be like pushy, sleazy? It's like, okay, come sign now. It's like,
you don't sign, you die.
You don't sign, then you cannot go home. In 1995, I was actually in a very famous system called the timeshare. I was locked in a room for 4 hours until the guy managed to close me $16,000 in 1995. And the guy was so happy to ring the bell. And that was my very first experience of being closed unwillingly. 4 hours is like, oh my God. So I did not like sales because these people, they say, if you don't buy now, if you don't hand your credit card, you can't go home. Wow. If you do not believe that happened to me, that was a very painful $16,000 lesson. And in 1995, 16,000 is a freaking very high amount. Okay? So I don't want this to happen to all of you. Salespeople are seen as very pushy. I heard that. Salespeople are seen as very sleazy. They want to get the money from you. I heard that. I want to get this once and for all and come up with this idea. Salesperson and closers are very different. I want to build a new identity. I want to talk about this concept called closer. And you are not a salesperson anymore. How many of you notice that when you're working on street, when a salesperson comes to you, like insurance agent, if they manage to get you, then they will want to try their best to actually talk about the product's features and benefits. And how many of you also notice that in some of the sales training, where the sales trainer would teach you, well, let's not talk about the features only. You must talk about the benefits. You must actually talk about how does this product or service help you. So we use the benefits to overcome the features so that this will increase the sales probability or possibility. Heard that before? And some people will went on and even teach you that no, the left brain likes the feature, the right brain likes benefits. So you must sales feature plus benefit at the same time. How many of you have introduced this kind of training before? Okay? Done once and for all. As a closer, you don't talk about features and benefits. So I want to actually, first of all, talk about what's a closer. Okay, before we even talk about TetraCloser, we need to know who is a closer. And who is a closer? Closer is a person who helped or assist the customer's clients to go through a transformational process. There's a saying from my seafood, people buy not because of the product, features, and services. People buy because they can see themselves to who they want to be. And that's the reason why they buy. As a closer, your job is to bring the person to the place that he or she wants to be, and your job will fail if the person doesn't say yes to you. So you as a closer has a very huge obligation. You miss. So a closer is to bring the prospects, the clients, to the place they want you to be. A closer's job is considered failed if the person is still here. It's not talking about features and benefits. So let's say if you look at this screen here, what matters most is how do you see yourself. So your job is to make them believe that there's something that I actually can do. There's something that I can become. For example, in front of me, I brought two guys here, the brothers here, the Wesker and Leon brother. They may look alike. These people, what did I tell you yesterday? Let me just introduce these two people. They have been in my team silently, secretly, because I don't really talk about that. For how many months already? 3 months. Would you like to just come up and just talk about your experience, about who do you see yourself now as a direct result of what we have gone through?
Okay.
Wesker.
I'm Wesker. I've been rejected since 2 months ago, and initially before that, right, how I do sales is like I have no confidence in sales. Okay, really speaking, because although I have a product, you get structured very nice, something like that, I don't really know how to actually go out, pick what work to choose, because not really about fear of rejection, but also fear about, hey, what if this person don't buy? Then I feel very sad, right? Stuff like that. So throughout all these 3 months, right, Jack actually helped me to overcome this buy. Now, by actually told me that, hey, Jack and Wesker, this closing, right, it's not like selling, it's like you look for the need of the person first, then see from the beneficiaries, right, how can I actually add value to them, to help them. Then from that point, psychologically in my internal, my mind, right, also changed. Like I become more willing to want to help that person rather than looking at what I want to sell to them. Because initially when I approach, right, earlier stage, it's like, okay, hey, I got this product, I tell you where you want and stuff like that. How many of you are just familiar with like good sales people, right? Hey, I tell you got new plan came out, right? And it's like very good job for that. Yeah, but now it's more like I get into conversations first, rather to find out, okay, how's your life? Is there any place that that's look that I can actually add value onto that? Yeah, and then from there I was slowly going to like, I think it's actually if there is, I have certain product or I have certain service I know, right? are they interested? If they are interested, they're okay, then I share more with them, stuff like that. Yeah, so it becomes totally different from what I'm doing.
How does this process help you?
It helped me, ask a better question. Yeah, I mean, that's, it's really because that when Jack did a lot of guru and including Jack did teach us about tell us about WIFM, right? What is it in for me? So in the past, the sales experience is all in like what I'm best at, no? It's not about what is it in for the customer or the person itself. But now my position is that what is it in for them to actually benefit their future? Okay, what they need, is it in for them, like in if they get into my use my product, stuff like that. So it's totally like a change of direction, and that's why by knowing how to have all these, right, you have to ask the right question, and then very specific question, and then sometimes people just throw do one like big word, right, like I want to be happy though, I very enjoy about it now, stuff like that. So it's very big word. We couldn't actually realize that, hey, what are they actually happy about? Happy to everyone is different. Happy to me might be.
We can do a role play later.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear from Leon first, because you notice that a salesperson or closer, when they get very excited, sounds like one of the elements here, and you can tell that this closer is having a very high whatever element I'm not going to say. You can tell. You can see here.
I'm not fired.
Right. So I want to hear from Leon. Leon, what's your experience about closing?
I think my experience of closing is not I came from financial advisory or
Financial advisory
agent backgrounds. So I think it's really different. It's blown my mind away of after
they don't tell them like testimonial. Just give from your heart, please.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was sharing.
Blow my mind.
Yeah. Because I was trained to be sharing people about benefit, painting a nice picture, like what the brightest futures, right? The darkness in the futures, blah blah blah, based on the feature we have.
Futures.
Yeah. So like, okay, this is, but in real life, if you go and talk to people, you have something in your pocket under your SIM already. So you only wait for the moment and fit your product into their needs. So this is what I've been brought up to. So the key is after the coaching with Jack, I mean, what I feel is, hey, I'm not only learning. The old way what I'm doing, very updated. What I would say is not correct. Right. So what Jack taught me especially is about communication. How to better communicate, to find out, to be interested in that person, and to find the gap in their life. Right.
Okay, so keywords from Wesker and Leon is Wesker learns how to ask better questions. For Leon, his point is about becoming a better communicator. Okay, so that is what a closer is required. The skills that a closer is required. So have a seat first. Right, I'll bring you back later. So now here's the question for you. If I need to improve my communication, if I need to learn how to ask a better question, like you've seen Wesker just now, it's just like a rifle, bam, 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 bam. What if someone, a prospect, comes to him, the way he behaves? How many of you realize that the person might just walk away and say, please, Wesker, I don't want you. The rapport is gone. Or maybe he's too forceful, high energy. I don't have that kind of energy that can match him, and therefore, I don't care whether you're closer or not. You are not just my cup of tea. I'll just walk out. How many of you notice that can happen? So I said, that's the problem. I can be a damn good closer, but I still need to talk to people to close. So that's the reason why I said, hey, imagine a Tetra closing cycle. Start from the very beginning, that is to create a sales opportunity. So I just frame it as Tetra sales. And the next thing is, of course, your presentation pitch, a series of questions that you're going to ask. So let's think about it as Tetra presentation. And finally, the person might have a few questions. The person might ask for some clarification. And you may then have to deal with that. Yes, I do notice it sounds like something else you learn in sales. But what if we are able to use Tetra map 4 elements of nature to handle that part? And I call it Tetra negotiation. With Tetra sales, Tetra presentation, and Tetra negotiation, Tetra closing is the result of this power of 3. So if you can master Tetra sales, Tetra presentation, and Tetra negotiation, you will be a damn good Tetra closer. Learning how to close is important. You cannot just learn Tetra map on that. However, learning to close but no Tetra map side also cannot. So that's why I say I need both. So I will explain the fact that I can combine both. Here is something I would like Wesker to come out. I want to deal with the situation that we typically would do in our monthly meeting, because I do monthly meeting with them. Wesker, is that true that every single month you have to go out and meet strangers?
Yes.
And how many do you have to, are you required to meet? Tell the truth, please.
8.
8. What was your result in April?
5.
So what was the penalty as a direct result of not meeting your target?
$100 have to do donation charity.
That is the kind of accountability that I am talking about. I mean, many times as coach, we say we just talk, but we don't help, we don't hold the person accountable. $100, right? So what is your goal this month or next month?
This month is
Next month. May?
8,
8, right? So what's the penalty if you cannot make 8?
$150.
150.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be better and better in talking to strangers, and he's going to pay 150. He doesn't meet the 8 people's target. And by the way, 8 people is very easy. You just choose a week. I mean, you touch your uncle, auntie very easily on the street. Yeah, 8 people, right? It's not very difficult, but okay. But for, yeah, no, hang on. There's what a typical conversation looks like. So imagine I'm a stranger.
Yeah.
So this is how it happens. So come, let's do a role play here.
Okay. Cool, man. Hey, hi, I'm Ambassador.
Oh.
Hey, nice to meet you. I think we saw you somewhere before that.
Where is that?
In the Tetra training with Raymond. You want to train?
Okay, yeah, I was there.
Oh, yeah. I was there as well. I've come to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And show you.
Then what should we do now? So this is what we call a simple moment of aha. He doesn't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
So let's reverse the role and see how it happens. Now, first of all, let's talk about the objective of this. The objective in my mind is not close the person with my product or services. You have to get this right, because what happens is that the very first meeting, you may not get anything. You have to understand, but it is about building relationship. So the Tetra sales concept requires you to ascertain and build the relationship first. When the person has the trust on you, then you can suggest anything under the sun. So that's how I closed $8,000 in a B2B deal last month. That's what I closed $3,000 by simply WhatsApp to one client. That is possible. How many of you would like to close $8,000 or $3,000 with just like that? Thank you. So that's how I say I. I'm not him now. So anyway, so this is what we do. So I'm Jack, you're Wesker. Okay. So how do we build relationship? So as I'm going to ask question, I'm also doing the teaching part to deconstruct for you. Now, these people, they are not Tetra facilitators, but they are a very good students of another product. So sometimes if they leak out something, I will help you to translate into the Tetra language, okay? All right. So let's start with this question. So hi, how are you today? What's your name?
I'm Wesker.
You're Wesker.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So the context is that we met in Raymond's event, okay?
Okay.
So I think the other day I've seen you in Raymond's event. Is that you?
Oh, yeah, I was last Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you find the session?
I think it's great. Raymond shared about the China explanation of rejection.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so time out. So what did I do just now? Of course, we have to start a conversation to find the common things. So there's actually the simple thing about building rapport, find the points of common, and then we drill. So what is the next outcome? The outcome is I want to find out, in this case, what is his need, what is his wants, from this session. So you just say that Raymond talk about the China thing, right? So what is specific thing that you learned from Raymond's session about China?
I learned that the expansion is actually to help the company.
Yeah. Can you hear? Okay, speak up a little bit.
Yeah.
Speak up a little bit.
It's actually what happens. Raymond actually share about this. At China, they are actually helping all these CEO company actually to prepare them for IPO. Yeah, and and those programs that Raymond actually planned out is actually very attractive and look very fun because they are outdoor, they are indoors, and then
So you say you have got outdoors and indoor is fun.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question: in your personal life, like what are you especially looking for? I mean, do you like this fun excitement?
Yes, I do enjoy. If let's say that one day that money is not an issue, then I will travel around and then have a lot of expedition, and then vacation and having holidays in overseas and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, so time out. Let me just debrief what happened. So I was a bit fast and straight to go to his personal life, and the reason why I can do that is because I hear two keywords: fun, excitement. The moment I hear these two, I will just go to the person straight away and ask about the personal life. Imagine the person didn't raise these two words or talk about these two words, then what I would do is I would drill further. Because I hear fun and excitement, I go straight to personal life. And personal life is somehow he gave me a very big clue. He said, if time, money not a concern, I would like to travel around. This is the beautiful thing for a closer, because you get this very fast, and you know what? You may not need to drill further, and you may get something in this process. So he's giving me a little bit. Okay, but let's reverse it. Let's continue the conversation. Okay, so you say that time and money is not concerned. You would like to travel around. Where do you want to travel?
Probably I want to go to Greenland and New Zealand, and then a bit like Switzerland because they are beautiful countries. Yeah, I love nature, and then after that, then go to shopping at London and Paris, and go to Tokyo and Korea. Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of countries.
Yeah,
there are lots of countries, right?
Countries. Yeah.
So the question for you is that, like in New Zealand, in Switzerland, what do you plan to do?
In New Zealand, I want to visit New Zealand. I want to visit the Hobbit house, where they actually filmed a lot of the rings. Yeah, I want to see and then go and wear all the mascot and stuff, and then ride on the horse. Yeah.
Okay, good. And in Japan, Tokyo, I mean, you talk about Japan, Tokyo, shopping, like where are you going to shop? Okay, and what are you going to buy?
Well, of course, I go there, the Japanese enjoy the food. Rather than that, I want to go to visit Osaka and then go to the samurai places to wear I love to watch samurai movie in the past and all these things, so it's like excitement to me.
Okay, time out. Can you tell the element very, this is a very clear. It's very strong, isn't it? So now as a Tetra math facilitator, you should be able to tell the primary elements in that case. So now next question is that, okay, if I am going back to what I want to close him for, let's say I have a product or service or something I can help him. Let's say I want to do something with him. He hasn't given me any clue. So what do I do? So this is what I'm going to do. So you just say, Wesker, there are so many places you want to travel, you want to do this, you want to do that. It sounds cool. I love that. I mean, if time is not a concern, I would love to do that. What's stopping you from going there now?
Oh, what's stopping me?
Okay, I'll repeat. So if money and time is not a concern, you like to travel so many places, it sounds cool, it looks cool, I love that. So build rapport first. Next question is, what is stopping you from doing what you plan to do right now? So now I'm starting to think.
Yeah. I really have enough doctors. I haven't have a bucket of gold, but which is not that stable yet, and then that's why I'm just struggling in sales and didn't make a lot of money and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now this is something that we commonly hear from the market. It's somehow like Wesker Leon told me yesterday. The people they spoke with, most of the time they are struggling with this 4-letter word, sale. They don't have the money they want, and because they are struggling with sales. It is not that we make up. It's a very common feedback. Is that true?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what's stopping you from making more sales? What's the number one hurdle for you to make the sales?
I think I'm not that confident. I don't know how to talk to them. Even that, I did went to networking event and then talk to people and then introduce them my product and stuff. After that, after those networking event, right? Actually, no one actually get back to me. Even that I contact them, it's like, yeah, just high buy or it's too fast. It's like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't have any value at all. I mean, like, I don't really get sales from there. Even like, I also do like social media, Facebook marketing. I spend a few money, but still, I didn't get the customer. I mean, yeah, opt into myself. So I really don't know. I mean, I might get back to job or stuff like that, or maybe I should hire a sales. I don't know really. Yeah.
Okay. Time out again. You notice that in a sales process, who typically will talk in a selling process? In a selling process,
Salesperson.
but it's a closing process. Who talk the most? Yeah, I just listen. I get the clue. I'll get to him later. Okay, so it's very sad to hear that the networking event is not working for you.
Yeah.
So what to do?
I don't know, Jack. What do you suggest?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
What do I want to do?
Okay, so time out again.
Yeah.
So typically at this stage, a salesperson will be very eager to throw the solution out. He's like, what do you suggest, Jack? A salesperson will throw the solution at this time because that is the golden opportunity. But what did I say? What did I just say?
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. What do you suggest? So what do you think you can do?
Maybe I should master my sales skills as well.
Master your sales skill.
Or maybe
Okay.
yeah, or not. Then I get a sales affiliate out my product. I don't know, but I think I still have to master certain skill for me to survive first. Because hire salespeople is also not that easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where can you get all these selling skill? Where can you go to master these skills?
I don't know. I think I will go Google and search. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go Google and search.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you seem to hear something called he needs to master the sale. Now I can choose to go deeper to find out the pain of this guy. I can choose to ask more questions. I feel that he's already ready to receive my suggestion. So this is what I'm going to do. So you just said that you need to master your skill set, your sales skills.
Yeah.
And you said you go to Google and you know that by Googling it may not give you the right course, the right program, with the right budget that you need.
Yeah, possibly. I have to do a research. I hate it. I mean, I have to do a lot of
So let me suggest to you that I have a program who is able to help you to actually get more sales because it helps you to understand the customer's profile. It helps you to understand the process. It helps you to be more confident. It helps you to be more confident to be able to do that. Would it be something that you
Yeah, sure. I'm interested to hear.
So this is what we call a game. This is not giving the person a solution because I haven't said anything. I just ask for permission to reveal what I'm going to offer. Okay. So all this process at this time, what I've done is I simply give my listening ear. I don't really talk about it. I listen. And what is important is that I constantly use back the words he said, throw it back to him. So this is a very, very important skill of a closer. Now the question for you is that easy to do? Is this process pretty easy? It's quite easy because he is very easy to close. The reason is that one, because of certain elements, it is true that it is easy to close. From my experience, unfortunately, there is one particular element which is very difficult to close. Okay, there's an element which is very difficult to close. I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to say anything. You can tell anyway. All right. So let's say I want to now give him the solution. This is what I will do. So actually, I've got this program. This program is called ABCDEF. You want to see right now. This will help you achieve the goal so that you are able to travel to New Zealand, you can travel to Switzerland, you can travel to Japan and do all funny things. Would that be something you want to do?
Something that I want to do. Yeah.
Okay. So are you prepared to sign up now?
Okay. What's the price?
What's the price? So at this point, what is going to happen as a salesperson? A salesperson will say, it's going to be $5,000.
Wow. Okay, I think about it.
Okay, typical, right? I think about it. Salesperson will say, why do you have to think about it? Typical, right? Why do you have to think about it?
Wow, this is really, I was taught in half.
Yeah, this is what you were taught. This is what a salesperson is taught. Why do you? Because for the funny thing about sales handling objection, the typical way to handle that is to ask what happened, why. So why do you have to think about it?
Well, refinancing to see that. And recently, I told you not that good. My sales so good recently, so that's why that it's quite tight. So I have to reconsider and then do some plan and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so a salesperson at this stage is telling you, sorry, I'm not interested. I'm not going to sign up. So the salesperson will normally say this. But so so think about it, and when you're ready, come back to me. Hopefully you see all the company. Is that normally the case?
Yes.
Is that normally what will happen?
Yes.
Okay, now reverse many steps. So again, let's go back to a closer and how. Okay. So this is how a closer will do. Okay, cool. So if there's a program that can help you to actually close the sales more, that is helping you to achieve your sales revenue faster, so that you're able to go to New Zealand, go to Switzerland, go to Japan, do whatever kind of things you want. Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah.
The program is going to be very expensive.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
I don't think the program is for you. I don't think it's because $1,000 is expensive.
So how much that program?
$1,000.
Wow. $1,000. Only a 1,000 budget.
That's why I say it's not for you, the program. I don't know. What do you think? Can you come with more amount?
Maybe
Half of it? 2.5?
2.5. Let me think for it.
That's why I say you're not interested.
I really want.
You really want.
I really want that.
So there's a problem. You need 2.5 as a down payment.
As a down payment. Yeah.
Okay. What happened? You see the difference between closer and salesperson. A salesperson is very eager to close, and when the person say, "I think about it," just let it go away. Whereas a closer, number one in closing principle, never be greedy. If you're hungry, you cannot close. You cannot be desperate. No matter what comes in, you just have to handle it. So that is a very important skill set of a closer. But more importantly, is I don't suggest the price until he asks for it. And I also do not very desperately and eagerly say, wow, I love that 1,000, let me take it now. For a salesperson, the person will just take it and say, never mind, as long as I got money in my pocket, I can keep my quota. Do that. If your target is not met, let's say in this case $5,000 might be expensive, and your protocol you require half as a down payment, then you have to work on down payment at least to get to half of $5,000. As a bottom line, if not, then you still have to get him out of the picture. Because the most important point is that as a closer, you do not ask for the sale. You let the prospect close on his own. So in this process, what you will notice is that although you may not close the person like get $5,000 straight away, but the bottom line is that if you are able to secure a deposit, if this is what you can do, then what will happen is that at least you can close. You will still consider a close. That's in terms of a close means that it is not like a fruitless exercise. There's nothing happening. But is this true that in some times when you do closing, there's no guarantee that will be closed? There's no guarantee because no closers in the world is able to close 100%. That is the truth. So what we are talking about in terms of this process, the Tetra sales process, is all about finding out the person's profile, finding out the person's needs, wants by using the Tetra element. And sometimes it can be very easy to review, like the 5 elements. Most of the time, they can review very quickly. But there are some situations where you have to dig, and you still can't figure out what happened. It's like, Wesker, can you talk about a case that you mentioned, like you dot at the end, and you say that at the end, it's like, is it in our language, we call question, right? We call question, which is Tetra map language, the 5 elements. I said, not really. It's not a 5 element.
Oh, because okay, the example is this: that I talk to a lady, and every movement, everything of her is very fast. But when talk about this, she said that okay, her company, her business didn't bring in sales, and then when her coach money working with them, right? And then coach say, her coach tell them that, hey, you guys are too slow, moving too slow. And then she was like, oh, I'm so frustrating. Like, you know, we are moving very, very slow, stuff like that. So I told you that, hey, that the action is fire people. Yeah, fire people. And then Jack say that it's not
because the 5 element shows up under stress, and that's why the person behave like 5 elements. But deep down, under the natural situation, he or she is not a 5 element, and we find out eventually is totally different. So by knowing how to handle these questions and answers, you will get the primary, the secondary elements show up pretty quickly. But sometimes in this screen, you have to dig deeper, and we find out that eventually this lady is actually a water element. It's very interesting. So with the Tetra sales technique, then you'll be able to know, okay, how to leverage the element, okay, ask questions to deep dive into the wants and needs. Like I said, there are certain elements where the questions and answers are very quickly reviewed, the pains, the wants and needs. There are situations where you have to dig very, very deep. And in this process, it is possible, like what Raymond said in his earlier session, that, well, these people might be tears. And it's happening. But as a closer, we don't really care. Just continue to play the game, because sometimes that is even better. Because when the person is in deep emotional state, it's actually there's one thing we can notice. And just now, Wesker also used the word "I think about it." I think now this is something that we learn in sales. I don't know about you. Like, how many of you actually see if the person says to you, "I think about it," means there's no close?
Yeah.
If I say I think about it, that means there's no close.
Yeah. Usually it's not that.
Usually in sales training, the person say I think about it, that means it's a no. Because my teacher actually said one time, it's either a yes or a no. Anything that is not yes or no is also no. I don't know if you heard of that before, right? So maybe it's a no. I think about it, it's a no. However, in sales process, in this particular session, we are going to talk about is that there is a particular type, or there is one element using Tetra map language where if the person says, I think about it, it's actually true. Out of the 4 elements, again, I'm not going to reveal which one it is. If the person ever say, I think about it, that means he will not let you close. He will close himself. And it's very interesting that this type of people, when they say, I think about it, actually it's a good news. And you let him think about it. So let's say Wesker belongs to this type, and you just say, I think about it.
Think about it.
Okay, so a salesperson will say, why do you have to think about it? So let's go back and see how we can handle the situation. So we say, I think about it.
I think about it. Yeah.
Okay, so how long do you do?
Probably about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Cannot wait. Can you do it over the weekend?
Over the weekend.
Because if you know that you have more time to think about it, you may get distracted, you may see from the people may be gone. From you. Can you talk about it again over the weekend?
Over the weekend.
Sorry?
Like me to week.
Yeah, that's what handle the buffers.
Okay.
Just clear that. That is another one that we can handle. Okay? So you can handle that. Okay, over the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, what time?
Same time.
Which is? 7 p.m.?
Yeah.
So I call you, you call me?
You call me.
I call you which number? Confirm?
Yeah, this number.
Okay, good. Okay, this number correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I'll call you at 7 p.m. Monday using this number.
Yes, correct.
So what happened? I won't let him go to think about it and never come back. Tie him, lock him up so that he will be coming back to me. You don't let him go. You don't let him go. Commit, then enjoy the weekend. That is what TetraCloser will do through this group of people called I think about it. Okay? So I share with you one experience I personally had in situations where, like in corporate deal, like Raymond, you do corporate deals, right? So imagine a situation that I'm about to close the deal, like the client is very interested in my tax service. But suddenly, one person in the board meeting come up and say, can you provide any guarantee? For tax, unless you are inland revenue, there's no guarantee. That is always what I was told. Okay? So this is how I handle the situation. And I just, using this technique, that's how over the weekend I closed a deal of $3,000 using WhatsApp. So it's not a talk, but it's a WhatsApp. So, but just pretend that, let's pretend that you talk again. Ask me, can you provide guarantee? What guarantee do you need?
Well, that we will definitely take them of the money that we want.
Yeah.
We are cheaper than.
I can't guarantee that.
Okay. Oh, okay. And then
But let me ask you a question. Imagine the inland revenue knocked your door one day and said to you that your company has filed your tax return incorrectly. And let's pretend that the return is filed incorrectly, and let's say inland revenue decides to impose a 300% penalty on you. I mean, you look at the amount that inland revenue may impose compared to what I'm charging right now. Don't get involved. That is my guarantee. You may get the bill from inland revenue. So my guarantee for you is that if you ask me to help you, you might be potentially save the amount that might be charged by inland revenue, and that's my guarantee.
And now I'm going to calculate. Alright, after calculation, okay, Jack. Reject.
And then the client actually said, okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's how I got this $3,000 deal over the weekend, where I was in JB serving 600 people. Okay, so in TetraCloser, there are so many things I can talk about. However, we just only have this this period of time. So what I'm going to do is that I will be asking Raymond to post a link, if you don't mind. I'm actually going to launch this program together with my business partner. My business partner will be the lead trainer. I'm not. I'm the guy behind the scene. As some of you know that because my element is not like the one speaking in front of me. What I'm going to do is I'll ask Raymond to post a link later on. And the link is all about an application. The application process is basically, I'm only looking for 20 people. I'm only looking for 20 people. The investment, I'll just call it irresistible offer because you cannot believe that would be the investment that you have to incur. Okay? And it's only by application, which means that even though you throw money at me, I will not accept you. I have the right. This is just to show you that as a closer, I'm not interested, even though you're coming, because I can have every right to say no. So what I'm going to do is I will get Raymond to send you a link. The link will be an application form. It is a very bloodily long, very detailed application process. And I just came up with this in the afternoon. It's 10 questions. And when you fill the form, you will see how rigorous, how rigorous, how stringent, how demanding the process, because I want to create the results. Like these two guys, I talked to them yesterday, just yesterday evening. I say 2 months ago, do you see yourself you can actually provide coaching services to your clients? No. But what did I tell you? You guys can actually do coaching. Because the way you ask questions, the way you help people to get clarity is what coaches are doing anyway, isn't it? So now they have a new identity after this process. So coaches, consultants, or trainers, if your struggle is all about getting sales, if you are not interested in this process, what will happen is that these guys are very, very eager to help you because they can close. So there are so many things you can do. There are so many options. Like you can learn this technique. You can learn this technique and then train your people, or you can get these people to close for you. There's so many things we can do. Okay. So with that, that is my presentation of Tetra closing. So if you have any questions, go to Raymond. Raymond will answer for you. And then I'll just give Raymond the link so that you can consider application applying to this program. But once again, when I say 20 people, my partner and I are looking for 20 only, and my partner is responsible for 10, which means that I can only accept 10 from my circle. Okay, so that's it. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and have a good night. Okay, so Raymond, you want to come back and close? Because they are still there. So they log out already.
All gone already.
All gone already.
So fast.
Hey, no, they're still there. Is it? Oh no, I'm here. They're gone already.
Okay, the rest
okay, good. There's something that I cannot do Facebook Live. They're still there. Stop now. Hi, go out. Go Facebook Live out. There's something that we cannot do on Facebook Live because if I release too much, then it's not fun. This client actually threw me 2 objections, and it's true that I handled them very nicely. That's how I got the deal anyway. So the client's objection is that it's a B2B deal. The client actually said, can you provide testimonials? Common, right?
Yeah.
So I handled that. Can you provide any success story? So not testimonials, so you redirect a little bit and turn it to can you provide some success story of past cases? Like when I didn't learn this technique in the past, I would say, but it's all PNC one. Even though I share with you, so what? I'm not allowed to share this success story with you. That's why in the past I just push it away. It's like I can't share because I use the private confidential excuse to get it out of it. But now by learning this technique, I didn't use that part. I just push it away. I just use this technique to push it away. And that's how I got my $8,000 deal. And I was so happy I was sharing with them that 2 days ago when I was in the client's office, the client actually asked me one GST question, and the client told me that, you know what, Jack, I've checked with this advisor, that advisor, but I want to hear your advice because I only trust you. I say, I got it already. So next day what I did was that I voluntarily wrote an email of an advice totally free. I just give it to the client. I say, yes, let's confirm what I told you yesterday. I mean, this is how I build relationship with my tax clients. I mean, if the client said that they trusted me, then obviously I have to do my part to maintain my trust. So this is like, oh my God, this technique actually works very nicely. It's like, shh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say thank you for trusting me in coming to these sessions to share
Yeah.
about your concepts.
Yeah.
Our last session was that was quite good.
The last one was capped at 30 over.
It's all because of the $5.
$5.
The $5, you kill all the birds. The $5. Yeah, because B hotel is downstairs, just downstairs lavender already.